What if I told you you're not struggling with money, you're fighting your own brain every single day without even realizing it? Why do you keep making the same money mistakes, even when you know better? Why does it feel like something inside you keeps pulling you back? And what if the problem is not your habits, not your discipline, but the way your brain is wired from the start? Inside your brain, something is happening right now, every time you think about money, risk, or change. There are two different systems working at the same time, and they are not on the same side. One reacts fast, emotional, and impulsive. The other tries to slow things down, think, and protect your future decisions. One part of your brain is designed to keep you safe. It avoids risk, seeks comfort, and pushes you toward quick rewards that feel good instantly. The other part is completely different. It focuses on long-term outcomes, discipline, and growth. But here's the problem. These two systems don't work together. They constantly compete, and that conflict controls your actions. That fast, emotional part of your brain is called the limbic system. It doesn't care about your long-term success. It doesn't think about your future. Its only goal is simple: to make you feel good right now. That's why you choose comfort over progress, distraction over focus, and short-term pleasure over long-term growth, again and again. The other system is your prefrontal cortex. This is the part that thinks, plans, and analyzes. It helps you delay gratification, stay disciplined, and make smarter decisions for your future. But here's the problem. It's slower, weaker under stress, and easily overridden by the limbic system when emotions take control. So every time you try to change your life, save money, or build something meaningful, these two systems start pulling you in opposite directions. One says, stay safe. The other says, grow. And this internal battle is not something you consciously control. It happens automatically, shaping your decisions without you noticing. That's why you already know what you should do, but you still don't do it. It's not a lack of knowledge. It's not laziness. It's something deeper. Your brain is creating a conflict between comfort and growth. And most of the time, comfort wins without you even realizing it. So the real question is not how to make more money or how to work harder. The real question is much deeper than that. Which system is controlling your decisions right now? Because until you take control of that, nothing else you try will truly work. What if the real problem is not your habits, but the way your brain has been trained for years? What if every decision you make about money is not even fully yours, but a pattern you've been repeating without questioning? And what if changing your life starts by changing that pattern first? The moment you become aware of this pattern, everything starts to change, because awareness breaks automation. It forces your brain to pause instead of reacting instantly. And that small pause is where control begins. Most people never reach this point because they never stop to question their own behavior deeply. Your brain is not fixed, it's not permanent. It can change, adapt, and rewire itself over time, but only if you give it new signals, new decisions, and new behaviors to follow. Otherwise, it will keep repeating the same patterns because that's what feels familiar and safe. Every small decision you make is training your brain. What you choose today becomes your default tomorrow. That's how patterns are built, not in one big moment, but through small repeated actions. And most people don't fail because of one mistake. They fail because of repeated unconscious choices. If you want to take control, you don't need more motivation. You need awareness and repetition. Because the brain doesn't change with intensity, it changes with consistency. And once you understand this, everything becomes a system, not a struggle anymore. So let me ask you something. If your brain is shaping your financial reality, why are you still trusting the same patterns that kept you stuck for years? The moment you break the pattern, even once, your brain notices it. It starts to question the old path and opens the door for a new one. And that's where real change begins. Not when everything is perfect, but when you do something different for the first time. And over time, those small changes start to compound. Your thinking shifts, your decisions improve, and your results follow. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because once your brain changes, your reality has no choice but to change with it. At this point, something inside you should feel different. Not because everything suddenly changed, but because you can finally see what was controlling you before. And once you see it clearly, you can't ignore it anymore. Every decision becomes more conscious. Every action starts to matter, and slowly you begin to take back control. This is where most people make a mistake. They try to change their results without changing their identity. But your identity shapes your decisions, and your decisions shape your outcomes. If you still think like the old version of yourself, you will keep recreating the same life, no matter how hard you try. So let me ask you something honestly. If your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your results, then what kind of future are you building right now with the way you think today? And more importantly, are you even aware of it, or just repeating it without noticing? Because at the end of the day, this is not about money. It was never just about money. It's about control. It's about awareness. It's about deciding who you become before your brain decides for you. And this moment, right now, is where that decision starts. You don't need to be smarter. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is to stop lying to yourself, to stop saying later, to stop choosing comfort, and to finally take responsibility for the direction your life is going. Because the truth is simple and hard at the same time. Nothing changes until you change the way you think. And once that shift happens, everything else follows. Your habits, your decisions, your results, your entire life. But it all starts in one place, your mind. So the next time you feel stuck, remember this. It's not your situation, it's not your luck, and it's not even your past. It's your pattern. And patterns can be changed. The question is, will you keep repeating the same life, or finally take control and rewrite it? If this hit you today, drop change in the comments. And if you're ready for a new mindset, hit like, subscribe, and start now.